There was an event in Embu yesterday, and even though it was a church function, it turned out to be one of the biggest political events that we have seen recently. The current president was in attendance, the former president was in attendance, the former impeached deputy president Gachagua was in attendance, the current deputy president Kindiki was in attendance. And there were so many lessons and so many things to be read or to be picked in that event. And in this video, I want to talk of the two major things that I could read in that function. Number one was the reaction of the members of public when leaders were called to speak.
Mheshimiwa Uhuru Kenyatta akuja atusalamie. Welcome, Mr. President.
Asante sana. Asante sana. Mheshimiwa Rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya.
And how they were receiving the speakers. The clergy had warned the political class that this event, they should stay away from politics. And they did so. None of them really talked politics as such. But the manner in which the congregation was receiving speakers was speaking volumes. When one of the clergy was acknowledging the presence of different leaders,
Dr. William Samoei Ruto, Your Excellency, our Deputy President, Professor Kithure Kindiki, our fourth President, Uhuru Kenyatta, leaders of government, including many cabinet ministers here present,
and they acknowledged the presence of the former Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua.
I would also like at this moment also to recognize our former Deputy President, who is also here. Thank you. I would at this time kindly would want to recognize here present.
The crowd shouted and welcomed the former Deputy President with a very loud voice, And all the time that Professor Kindiki was being mentioned, there was no much noise. And even the president himself, Ruto, when he was being introduced to come and speak, he was not given that reception like the one for acknowledging Gachagua's presence. And when the former president, Uhuru Kenyatta, was called to speak, he was also received with very loud acknowledgement from the crowd or from the congregation. So what was the lesson in all this? What I picked is that the crowd was trying to tell the president that they embrace the former president and that they embrace Gachagua more, or that they sympathize with him. So, and this is not only that it was happening in Embu. Even if it was happening in any other part of the country, that is how Kenyans would still behave. Kenyans like to show sympathy a lot. When somebody has been maybe betrayed or has gone through some problems, they usually want to sympathize with that person more. So they were sending a signal to President Ruto that even though Gachagua was impeached, he is our own, and we are embracing him and we respect him, and we acknowledge him as our leader. And you can think it is a joke, but if Gachagua was to vie for any political seat in that region at this very moment, even as governor or even as president, they will vote for him. If there was no term limit and President Uhuru could vie again, if he stood, the people will still vote for him because they want to sympathize with the way he was treated and the way he has been treated from the time he handed over power. So Kenyans don't learn. What is it that Gachagua had done to Kenyans that now if he is impeached, you want to sympathize with him and forget everything, so just want to find ways of returning him in any office that he would like to vie for? You know? Kenyans like to vote to punish the person that they don't want. They don't vote to put into office the best candidate. Right now, Ruto is being seen as somebody who is not performing. So how can you rate Ruto and Uhuru? They almost just the same thing. And even they were in the same government before Ruto now became president. But the supremacy now that Uhuru is commanding is simply because Kenyans feel that he's been mistreated. So they sympathize with him. So if there was any seat to be voted now, they can easily just vote for Uhuru. Not because he did anything good that is a performer, but simply because of sympathy. This is something that is making Kenyans recycle leaders every now and then. You know? This time, one person will vie against this person, you elect this person. The next time this person is vying against this person, you elect this person. So you just keep changing these two leaders for the sake, or just to punish this other one. When you are better with this one, you punish this other one by electing this other one. But you don't look out of the box to bring in a fresh person with vision for the country. You know? This is how these political leaders that are in power and those that are in the limelight have kept on being in the limelight for decades. And because politics is about interests, today you punish this one because you think he's an enemy of the other one. So you vote in the other one, thinking that you're punishing this other one. The next election, this one and this one have come together. Now they're supporting somebody else. And you fall in the trap and then vote for the person that they're supporting now. You know? And that brings me to the second point that I read in that event in Embu. That event, I think it was organized deliberately to bring all these leaders together for the sake of striking a handshake between the current president and the former president.
Is our Cardinal John Jue here present?
It was a well-calculated move to provide a platform for them to meet, shake hands, and find ways of starting to work together. And going forward, from what I read in that event, That event served as a reconciliatory platform, and the two leaders are now going to start working together. We are going to start seeing them meet regularly, share platforms, and they are going to bring their interests to align. And you will be surprised that now, going to the next election, the former president may just endorse the current president. And the leaders, the electorate who are embracing President Uhuru in Embu and trying to shun Ruto will be surprised that now Uhuru is selling Ruto to them in the next elections. Yeah, that's how politics works. When interest of politicians emerge, converge, they become friends, and they forget about any other thing that had happened amongst them. So those are the two things that I observed. Just to recap very quickly, number one was the way the electorate behaved to try and show Ruto that they support Gachagua more, and that they should support Uhuru more, because they feel the two leaders have been mistreated of late, and that they are ready to embrace them in the coming contests. Another thing that I learned was the one of the two leaders, President Uhuru and President Ruto, interests coming to converge together, and again starting to work together in the days ahead and ahead of the 2027 elections. So don't be surprised when you see the two presidents pushing one agenda and asking you to support Ruto to finish his term. It's a wake-up call. Kenyans, we need to look at leaders with the visions and the agendas and the manifestos that they present to us, not with sympathy that this one has been mistreated, or not that you want to punish the other leader, so you are voting this other leader so that the other one can feel punished. Thank you. If you like political discussions and topics, consider subscribing to this channel so that in the future videos that we're going to publish, you will get to access them in real time. Thank you. God bless you. God bless Kenya.